Coming up right now, see why the third time was not the charm for a suspected criminal who got caught in a very unconventional way.
Also coming up, 30-year-old twins celebrate their first birthday. We'll explain.
And later, Kylie Jenner is laughing all the way to the bank after one designer calls her actions a trash move.
Ooh, Daily Flash Show starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your host, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. Welcome to Daily Flash. Well, Mitch English is out for a couple days, but he'll be back soon. He is on his photo shoot for the sexiest man alive, but sadly it's in North Wales. So, I mean, he's got that going for him. It's not necessarily, America, but hey, it's somewhere, right?
So he's not in direct competition with Patrick Dempsey, who was just named People magazine's most sexy.
No, it's Wales Weekly. But I mean, it's fine. He's, it'll work out. He's donating some toys up there too. So.
He's gonna kill you when he gets back.
I hope so. Some people that maybe not want to kill somebody over in the UK right now is the King, because he says he wants to ban smoking over there for anyone. So basically, what's going to happen is he wants everybody that's that's being born now to not be able to smoke. So anybody under the age of 14 is not going to be able to smoke. So they're going to filter out all these people over the next few years, so that hopefully by 2030 the entire country is smoke-free.
Interesting.
Now, after just coming back from over there, I can tell you that's not going to happen.
No.
They are more habitual smokers than we were here in the height of it, and I know it because both my parents were smoking. You remember walking into a restaurant, smoking or non-smoking?
Crazy.
And it was always like, wait, what? That's a thing? Or ashtrays and on airplanes and everything. Well, the UK wants to ban it, and over there they already on their cigarette packs have bad pictures of throat cancer and anything else to deter it. But that is going to be a really hard task.
I sort of follow the line of thinking is if you ban it or you make it impossible to get, it makes people want it even more.
Yeah, and they're just going to import it, and you're going to see them still smoking on the streets. I mean, I saw kids smoking over there. Like 12, 13-year-olds were just smacking the packs.
That's not unusual. I mean, that happened here in this country,
It did, but over there it felt like more of a cultural thing. Maybe it's because I was so detached from it for so long, and then seeing it right in front of my face again going, oh, you still do that?
Here's what I have a bit of a challenge with in this day and age, because now that we've legalized a lot of marijuana products and people are using marijuana, they say to better themselves for health reasons. It's still smoking, in some circles. If you're not taking the the gummies or whatnot, if you're smoking it, it's still smoking.
It's still getting in your lungs, and it's still bothering the people around you. Because that was my main thing, was the secondhand smoke and everything. That's what killed me, and it still does. You see someone with a cigarette now, you're just like, oh, you're still doing
So my question is, if you're going to outlaw and ban cigarettes, then are you also outlawing, smoking marijuana too in this particular situation?
I mean, that's over in the UK. It's still not legal there yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that'll get to that point. Over here, it seems to have two different sides of the aisle. I mean,
It's
obviously
weird,
you can't light up a blunt in a restaurant, even in the states that it's legal in.
Some places, I think in Colorado, you probably could.
Pretty sure in Detroit, I smelled it a lot, considering the band guy I was there. He's like, Detroit smells like French fries and weed. So that's pretty much what the whole
That's what people are saying about New York City. It smells like skunk.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, we'll move on. A quick thinking forklift operator stopped a car thief mid-air. You're going to love this. Take a look at this body cam footage from the Akron Police Department. It shows an SUV suspended about 20 feet off the ground. When the car was finally lowered back down to the ground, police told the suspect he was under arrest. The suspect then asked, well, what for? And then tried to convince officers he was running from someone. Come to find out, 26-year-old Alexander Funk has tried to steal a car from this auto salvage yard on 3 different occasions.
Oh, jeez.
Funk was arrested for theft and trespassing.
I mean, what did he do wrong? He was just hanging out. I didn't steal this car.
I love it. Quick thinking forklift operator.
What did I do wrong? I mean, have you ever heard the story of when Dennis Rodman was caught in a room by Carmen Electra with 2 women, and he went, they fell out of the ceiling. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, he did not say that.
He did. He goes, I don't know where they came from. Like, I mean, you deny until you finally have to give in. All right, well, a set of twins were born from embryos frozen 30 years ago, and they just celebrated their first birthday. Timothy and Lydia Ridgway were born October 31st, 2022 to their adoptive parents. Now get this, their mom and dad were just toddlers when the baby's embryos were frozen back in 1992. The embryos were adopted by a couple after their biological parents donated them to the National Center for Embryos. The adoptive parents used IVF to conceive the twins last year. The embryos had been on ice since the early 90s before they were used during the fertility treatment. The 30-year-old, 1-year-olds have even earned a title from the Guinness World Record as the oldest embryos in a successful pregnancy.
It's like this new form of math, embryo math.
Yeah.
Where we got are they really 30 or are they really 1?
That goes to, we were talking about it a couple weeks ago with South Korea, how they're rechanging how you're born. So for them, are they like allowed to, I don't know, vote and drive and get a rental car at this point?
I find this story so fascinating because, what are the health concerns of an embryo from 30 years ago? I mean, I don't know. It's just fascinating to me.
Well, I mean, obviously, they're going to be researched heavily their entire lives. Like, doctors from all over the world are going to go, so when did they get their first cold, and how were they around kids? When was their first words? Like, they want to see the development because they look healthy there. So, I mean, obviously, there was no problems, in the whole process of.
But how they talk about, kids coming out of the womb these days knowing how to operate an iPhone and an iPad. There's something weirdly innate about different generations.
Mm-hmm.
They were conceived in the early 90s. Will there be something innate about them that is still early 90s?
Maybe they like dial-up internet when they get older, or they're into Green Day. That's their favorite band.
You've got mail?
Yeah,
Okay.
you've got mail.
Well, Kylie Jenner wants you to look like $1 million. The 26-year-old reality star appears to have another successful business venture on her hands. Her new clothing line, Kai, has surpassed $1 million in sales during the first hour of its launch. Jenner's new project premiered with a collection of affordable faux leather items. She was recently named Brand Innovator of the Year by the Wall Street Journal. However, one designer is not impressed and is calling her out. Betsy Johnson accused Kylie of copying her designs in a scathing series of Instagram posts, calling it a trash move.
Well, I mean, she's part of the Jenner Kardashian thing, so calling it a trash move, it's kind of like, well,
What, a compliment?
A compliment. It's like, thanks, I'm still selling $1 billion worth of stuff, so obviously her fans don't care.
She don't care.
I mean, look, they say that say what you want to say about the Jenner and the Kardashians, about how they grew up obviously with something ready to go, but they've expanded on that. They didn't just sit around and do nothing. And if Betsy's got a problem with that, there is always some type of imitation in designs. I mean, some Nikes look like New Balances, so I don't really see a problem there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, this guy's had some problems the last few years. Alec Baldwin, his wife, and their 7 kids may be coming to a small screen near you. The 65-year-old actor revealed he's considering a reality show featuring his family. The 30 Rock alum confirms the little ones have taken over every aspect of his life. Alec added, every future movie project has to be discussed with his 40-year-old wife and their 7 kids, ages 1 to 11, before he agrees to do it. How does the 1-year-old agree? I don't know. Baldwin says he can't be away from home for more than a few weeks at a time. Well, Alec acknowledged there are great things about having a big family. He made a point to say, no more. He's done expanding, and we can all say, thank you, Alec. Thank you for finally, at 11, I think 12 kids total. He's got one. He's got one with
Kim Basinger,
Ireland
Baldwin.
Yeah, so he's got 12 kids out there. Thanks for finally cutting it off now. And who wants this reality show? He's had so much bad press over the last few years. I mean, he was doing Trump on SNL, so it kind of brought up his Q score a little bit. But when the whole thing with the Rust movie, that didn't go too well. I wonder if this
is more for his wife than it is for him, because she seems like she's a bit star-craved.
I mean, I guess he seems like he's somewhat private as far as his home life goes. Like, you don't really see him out with the kids. I know he moved out of the city finally because of all the controversy, but for him, does it really feel like he's trying to get his star back up after the Rust thing?
It's possible. I mean, he's nearing 80 years old and has 11 kids, ages 1 to 11. I mean, that's hard for a healthy 20-year-old to manage, let alone a guy who's nearly 80.
I mean, he has the finances to have help, but I know I've heard interviews with him where he has said, we don't have nannies and we do it on our own. But I don't really know that I believe him completely on that. You got to have some help with 11 kids.
Yeah.
It's like one a year.
And look, he married his yoga instructor.
Yes.
Okay, let me just put that out. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, I think you need to be a yoga instructor to pop out 11 kids and still be functioning.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need him on a small screen when, you know, his career's kind of tapered off and all the controversies behind it.
Yeah,
just kind of leave it. It's like, Alec, you were good. We're done with you.
But I'm guessing the controversy around the on-set shooting of Rust may drive viewers to check out a reality
like, what's
show.
at home? And you know he's not going to talk about that on there. That's what people will want to see, is him having conversations with his lawyer, and that's not going to happen.
Not happening, no. But it could be interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, stay with us. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Could weight loss upend our economy? Well, we are weighing the truth of it all with Insider's Cork Gaines. Hi, Cork. Welcome back.
Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
So much talk about Ozempic and a number of its generic alternatives. How is this new wave of weight loss drugs poised to change the economy?
That's the big thing. Right now, people are kind of focused on how it's going to help individuals get healthier, lose weight, feel better about themselves. But really, the long-term impacts are limitless. It feels like there's, people are going to live longer. They're going to work more because they'll be healthier and not taking as many sick days. They'll be more productive. People will be spending less on medical care. They'll be spending less on other diet fads or whatever they might be, and they'll have more money to spend in other areas. So the long-term impact on the economy is just, this could be one of the bigger things that the economy has seen as far as a plus in a long time.
Are you surprised at the way that this diabetic drug has taken off for weight loss?
Yeah, I think we've all kind of, we see these things come from time to time. We see these fads that might change everything. This one is one of the first ones that feels like it has the chance to really be widespread and impactful in many different ways. Now, there are still some hurdles to overcome. It's still expensive. It's still hard to get approved. Some employers are reluctant, probably because of the cost, and health insurance companies are still not sure where they are with it right now. But I think at the end of the day, once they start crunching the numbers, they're going to find more ways to get this into the hands of people. And the more widespread it becomes, and the more people start using it, instead of right now maybe just the wealthier people or the people that are suffering from diabetes, there's going to be really strong impacts on people and ultimately on the economy.
I think we see this, it seems like every couple of years, this new weight loss fad that kind of affects everybody and takes everybody's focus. Is this creating a reduced desire for certain goods as people live longer and healthier lives in a weird way?
It sure does. There's the obvious ones. People are less inclined to eat sugary foods, or the people that are on the drugs are going to fast food restaurants less often, for example. But there also seems to be some other impacts where there's some early indications that people are drinking less alcohol because of these drugs, because they just kind of have less of a desire to consume things in general. And so all of these things are going to lead to kind of changes in the way that people consume products. And, there are early signs, for example, from Walmart, who has been tracking this sort of thing and sees that they, people are purchasing fewer calories that are on the drugs, but at the same time, they're actually spending more at the store. So it seems like these people are still buying foods and stuff. They're just buying healthier for you products.
It's interesting. It almost seems kind of like a perfect storm when you look at what's happening, and the cost of fast food is going up exponentially. We've got this weight loss drug. Who stands to gain the most when it comes to the future of the economy and this shift, so to speak, in how we look at food and where we're going with it?
Ultimately, you could say everybody. The direct first line of impact that benefits are going to be, like I said, those better for you products, people that are selling healthier foods because there's less desire for sugary foods and stuff like that, maybe less desire for sodas, and maybe more people start going to sugarless sodas or seltzer waters or whatever it might be. But long term, the benefits are, like I said, almost limitless. We're going to see, again, if we see widespread use of these drugs, we're going to see fewer people dying from obesity. We'll see fewer people likely dying from heart attacks and strokes because of the, down the stream effects of these things. We may see, less cases or fewer cases of alcoholism. But then we even go beyond that to things like the airlines who might have to spend less on gas because their customers weigh less. I mean, there's the impact and who benefits is really limitless at this point.
The trickle-down effects of Ozempic. We'll see what happens. Cork, always great to see you. Thank you so much. For more information on this story and more, check out insider.com. Carolina Herrera is an expert on matters of fashion, style, and elegance. However, there's one quote from her that still causes fans to question hairstyles for women over the age of 40. She famously said once a woman should age gracefully and not try to be an age. She is not, or she will look ridiculous. And with that statement, she added women older than 40 should not wear long hair. Oh. Sarah Jessica Parker is considered a style icon who loves to wear Herrera's designs, and she's had long hair for most of her career. At age 58, Sarah Jessica Parker still wears it well below her shoulders.
I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, but I mean, we've seen these fashion designers. I mean, as far as I know, from The Devil Wears Prada, that was pretty spot on with like kind of how that whole world works. And they think they're gods. And if you've been to New York and you've ever been around those people, they're looked at as like gods.
They are. Anna Wintour, who is the chief editor at Vogue magazine, she wears the famous bob and the sunglasses. She's done that for the last, I'd say 20 years.
Yeah.
But I think Carolina Herrera made this comment, probably 3 decades ago.
Wow.
So it's kind of an old statement, which I think probably at this point in life has not aged well because so many people are aging younger.
Yeah, and it's a look at what the trends are for that time, right? Like, I mean, I was even looking at my old high school yearbook when I went to my thing, and I'm like, wow, we really wore that back then. Guys should not wear baggy jerseys all the time as a fashion statement. That, and I still have a few, but you don't see me wearing them all the time. I mean, these things evolve over the decades, and I think that maybe that's kind of where that got stuck, is like kind of in a timestamp.
Do Zeke Cavaricci jeans look good on anybody?
No, and I mean, do Jenkos? I mean,
No.
does any of that stuff? I mean, it all kind of has like a 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
What's really bad now, though, is kids are dressing up for 90s days at high schools, and I'm going, hey, no, those are my clothes. Like, I still own a few of those.
Things start to get sort of strange when you're like, best of the 90s.
Yeah.
Or like people are dressing up as a 90s era.
I don't want Stranger Things to keep going, and then all of a sudden they're in the 90s. I'm going, hey, no. Those kids aren't supposed to be wearing that.
That's happening.
I know, they're going to be in Jordans soon enough on that show. And I'm going to be like, well, great, these are just old fogey man shoes, Jordans.
You love your Jordans.
I do. They're going to end up being the new Monarchs, the old man shoes.
But see, those are timeless.
Right? Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, they just,
And a solid black and white, you can't go wrong
And I
there.
keep them clean. That's exactly right. All right, we got more Daily Flash Show coming up right after this. Make sure you check out our website, dailyflashshow.com, for all the behind-the-scenes shenanigans.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Matt Doolittle. The next time you are on the highways, look at how many trucks are out there. Then think about how they get around. Most of them use diesel fuel. In today's Car Smart's Lauren Fix, the car coach, explains why we could be facing an even bigger gas shortage in the very near future.
Winter is not even here yet, and the diesel supply chain is already falling short of demand at an accelerated rate. Now, we have discussed this before, but now the diesel levels are even lower than they were in past months. Tight refining capacity coupled with the ever-depleting stockpiles will lead to threatening consumer supplies of goods and materials for the coming weeks and months. If diesel supplies continue to dwindle too low due to supply crunches, critical transportation networks such as ships, trains, and airplanes and truck shipments will be severely impacted. This does not mean that we will run out of diesel, but the impact of a diesel shortage will impact every American. How is that? Well, diesel is also a power generation source for many utility companies. It's also used in various capacities to heat homes and businesses in many parts of the world. In late October, Mansfield Energy issued a code red for diesel supplies in America's Northeast and Southeast regions. Bloomberg reported that within months, almost every region of the planet will face a danger of a diesel shortage, just as supply crunches in nearly all the world's markets have worsened. Then you add inflation on top, and that's going to hurt growth. The crisis can clearly be seen at the pumps, where diesel prices are now noticeably higher than gasoline prices, and they have been for a while, which are also sky high. And if things continue on their current direction, the diesel crisis could become a perfect storm and add inflation as the accelerant, and the likes of which the world has never seen before. We're going to have more supply shortages. Diesel and fuel prices in general are based on crude prices as set on a global market. Due to the supply bottlenecks and other problems, demand in some markets is far outpacing the supply, which in turn affects everyone. Now, this is Basic Economics 101. Anything and everything that gets moved in our economy, diesel is there. I'm Lauren Fix, and you can find this information on my website, carcoachreports.com and dailyflashshow.com.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, this week in Furry Friends, and look, I know this has been a theme heading into the winter, but come on, people, please stop messing with the bears.
Don't
hug them. Don't feed them. Stop trying to take selfies with them, please. Folks on an 8-mile stretch of North Carolina's Blue Ridge Parkway shut it down when these dum-dums tried to hug a bear and feed a lone bear cub. The cub was curious and officials had to shut down the 8-mile stretch. They shut it down for the sake of the bear and the people's safety. Well, the people, that's their own fault. Sadly, when the humans interact with wild animals, because they could be euthanized. If the bear had attacked anybody or anything like that, or anything, it could be separated from its entire pack. In the weeks leading up to the shutdown, the National Park Service revealed that multiple people tried to hug and feed the bear. No photos were shown of people trying to hug him, but come on, people. If you want to hug a bear, go to Disney, wait in line, get a hug with Pooh Bear, or go to a pride parade. There's a ton of bears out there you could go get.
Big huggable, lovable
I don't
bear.
understand this fascination with running up to wild animals and people now. We used to fear them. We used to run away from these animals in the wild. Now people want to get selfies for the gram. I mean, have you seen any wild animals in your area or anything that you're like, oh, let me go hug it?
No, not that I would go and hug, but we have plenty of bears that wander through our neighborhood and lots of other wildlife. And the key rule is you stand back and you appreciate, but you don't get near them. Because oddly enough, wild animals can go wild, and that's what they do.
It's what the bears go and do bear things. Well, this is a heartwarming story and why you should always go check out the shelters first before you get a pet. Tessie, a 5-year-old black lab mix, was finally adopted last month after spending 1,007 days at a shelter. Tessie has been adopted. She was adopted out twice before, but has returned both times because of some personality problems. That's when the trainers at the Humane Animal Partners in Delaware started to work with her so she could find her forever home. Her new owner heard about the story. It broke her heart. She immediately went to adopt her. The staff admitted that she was a bit hard to handle, especially after being returned twice, and had, as you can imagine, some trust issues. But she's now a love bug who loves to go on walks in the woods along the beach and loves her squeaky toys. So, I mean, I always say go check the shelters first. When we got our cat, we went to the Pet Alliance, which is a local pet shelter here. Try to donate to them, especially this time of year with the winter. People forget that, those donations to those rescue shelters start going down, or they need blankets and everything. So look to those places first. And 1,000 days in a shelter.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a specific breed, there are a lot of rescue groups that specialize in certain breeds of dogs, and that's a great way to go because a lot of people, maybe they get a breed they don't know how to handle, and they're like, I can't deal with this. So if you're familiar with something, that's an easy thing to do, and most areas have specific breed rescue groups that you can reach out to.
Yeah, and don't just look in your area. I know it's convenient to just look in your area, but maybe search around, look on Facebook groups, just make sure they're legit. My mom kind of got wrapped up in one of those, send us $50 and we'll hold the dog for you. She's like, is this legit? I'm like, Ma, probably not, and I messed with the guy on text for a little bit. So just be careful out there, especially heading into the holiday season. People want to get those pets for the kids.
Good advice, and probably not the best time of year to bring a new pet into the home around the holidays. If you can avoid that, that's probably your
slow
best
down
option.
time of year. Yeah.
Stay with us, much more straight ahead.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment. Mitch English will be back later this week. I'm sorry, kids. He's attending the Penguin Conference in San Diego. And you may ask, what's a Penguin Conference? It's where a bunch of people dress up as penguins and hang out with each other. So I mean, Mitch, to each his own. I don't know. It's his thing.
Well, there is a SeaWorld in San Diego, so that's appropriate.
Yeah, so he can go hang out there and go roam around. I mean, he used to live there, so he's going to see all his old penguin buddies.
I know you guys are getting ready for a trip to Las Vegas.
Yes.
Okay,
January.
so, and you know the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas.
Yes.
This coming year, 2024. All of the ads for CBS for the Super Bowl have been completely sold out. 30-second spots, how much do you think they're going for?
Geez, I remember what they were back in the day, 20 mil?
No, 7 million.
7 mil now.
7 million for a 30-second spot.
Wow.
They were 4 million back in 2015. That's just for a
I
reference.
was trying to think when they were 20. It must have been like a minute-long one.
I'm not sure what you're spending $20 million on.
I went to a bad class in TV sales.
Maybe it was 200,000.
200,000, something like that. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's the most watched thing, and then obviously those ads, they now release them early on YouTube, so they get all those clicks even before the Super Bowl happens.
Right.
But I think it is one of the only games everybody watches like live every
Yeah.
year.
Well, Martin Scorsese is directing an ad for Squarespace for the Super Bowl, so that's going to be interesting to see.
Okay, so he'll direct an ad for Squarespace, but he'll poo-poo all the Marvel movies.
Well, you'll have to take that up with him.
Yeah, well, I would like to if he would like to have lunch with me. But okay, I mean, the Super Bowl ads are the last few years. None of them have really hit that hard, though, have
they've
they?
been a little bit dull, but they're expecting the last Super Bowl got an audience of about 113 million. They're expecting even more for the Las Vegas one because it's in Las Vegas.
And all the stars are going to show up.
Yeah.
That arena out there, I've heard, is amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be a big fanfare. But a lot of it determines on the teams. We just saw the lowest rated World Series in history because it was two teams in small markets that no one cared about. But
I don't know. I think the Rangers people care about. The Astros, some people care about.
it was the lowest rated. But I mean, this year, especially if we get Taylor Swift in the stands,
That'll
we'll have
change the
that.
game,
A
sure.
quick thinking forklift operator stopped a car thief in midair. Take a look at this body cam footage from the Akron Police Department. It shows an SUV suspended about 20 feet off the ground. When the car was finally lowered back down, police told the suspect he was under arrest. The suspect then asked, "What for?" and then tried to convince officers that he was running from someone. Come to find out, the 26-year-old Alexander Funk has tried to steal a car from this salvage yard on 3 different occasions. Funk was arrested for theft and trespassing. I love the just, I don't know, I was trying to get away from someone. You guys should have seen the other guy. He was crazy, man.
I've got to give him points for creativity. At least he's trying to get out of it.
I mean, at that point, you at least got to try to make the cops laugh so they don't just really get mad at you.
Exactly.
So I think that's kind of the route he was going, but I mean, that's
It's
a
like
good way.
instant justice. Don't you wish like sometimes that would happen more often than not?
I watch those karma videos on YouTube all the time. It's like instant karma, like car accidents and stuff.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, check this out. A set of twins were born from embryos frozen 30 years ago, and they have just celebrated their first birthday. Timothy and Lydia Ridgway were born October 31st, 2022, to their adoptive parents. Get this, their mom and dad were just toddlers when the baby's embryos were frozen back in 1992. The embryos were adopted by a couple after their biological parents donated them to the National Center for Embryos. The adoptive parents used IVF to conceive the twins last year. The embryos had been on ice since the early 90s before they were used during the fertility treatment. The 30-year-old, 1-year-olds have even earned a title from the Guinness World Records as the oldest embryos in a successful pregnancy.
I mean, it's gonna be really hard when their parents try to tell them to do something. Like, you're the same age as me, Mom and Dad. You can't really tell me that you're like a year older.
It gives new meaning to, you're not the boss of me.
You're not the boss of me. We're the same age. Shut up.
It's bizarre though. Like I'm fascinated by this story because here are embryos that have been frozen since the early ppb, and now they are coming into this whole new world. The health ramifications, the scientific research.
How they were, the chemicals or the biology that made them up at the time. I mean, but on those vials, do they have a use-by date, like milk? Like,
Is there an expiration?
yeah, is there an expiration date? Like one day over 30 years, it's expired.
Yeah, good thing you used it when you did.
Yep.
You had 24 hours left. If you live it, love it, or buy it, we talk about it on Life Love Shopping. Well, you might think of baby oil as something you use to moisturize or help remove makeup. Believe it or not, it's actually a key fixer for some common wardrobe problems. The next time you have a zipper that's stuck, use a few drops of baby oil and gently rub it in with a cloth. Be careful not to get it directly on the item of clothing. It should loosen up right away and get that zipper moving again. If you've got necklaces all tangled up, try adding a few drops of baby oil to the locked links. The oil will help to ease the tangle of those chains. Use a straight pin to loosen knots. Once you've got everything untangled, be sure to clean your jewelry before you wear it again. And since baby oil is 98% mineral oil, it makes for a great leather conditioner. Pour the oil directly on a cloth and then work the oil into your boots, bags, or jackets. Pro tip here, never pour directly onto the item and always wipe off any excess to prevent dripping marks. Well, Mickey D's is teaming up with Crocs, and the new Grimace slide has everyone talking. Here's a preview from @Snackolator.
Crocs just announced a new McDonald's collection complete with custom gibbets. They have 4 different varieties. Let's check them out. First up is the greatest of all time, Grimace. These look amazing. They've got like kind of the nice comfortable padding. They've got the Grimace on one side. They got the Grimace face on the other. You get the McDonald's cup. Should probably come with a Grimace shake, but that might be a little too recent. I love this one. And then next up is Birdie in a more traditional one. This has a Birdie gibbets. It's got a burger. It's got the face, and then it's got the wings on the top. This one's pretty good too. And then maybe the only one that can compete with Grimace is a Hamburglar, and this one's got a Hamburglar. It's got the mask. It's got the tie. It's got a burger that was stolen. This one is a solid looking Croc. And then this last one's pretty awesome because it just features McDonald's food. It's nice and solid red like McDonald's. It's got the McDonald's logo, the burger, the Big Mac. It's got the cup, the fries, the McNuggets. Then it's got fries on the sole itself. This one's pretty awesome, especially if you're not necessarily a huge fan of any of the mascots.
Yep, I know what you're all getting for Christmas. Well, a skincare expert reveals the most common mistake we all make when it comes to washing our face, and she claims 60 seconds can transform our skin.
Super common skincare mistake I bet you're making. Part 3, not washing your face for long enough. Especially if your cleanser contains active ingredients, because you need to give them a chance to work before you wash them off. Try to wash your face for somewhere between 45 and 60 seconds. It's longer than you think.
That is Maddie Lacey Davidson. She is a London-based social media influencer. She's got more than 70,000 followers, and she also calls out another common skincare mistake we're all making.
Super common skincare mistake I bet you're making. Part 2, not giving your skincare a chance to work. Most products and ingredients won't have a real impact on skin for about a month. If you're trying to reduce wrinkles or hyperpigmentation, you're looking at more like 3 to 6 months.
When it comes to spending extra time on self-care, experts say getting a manicure has some surprising health benefits. Researchers say superficial self-disclosure is linked to positive emotions that can provide a boost to our overall well-being. Easy chats about our everyday life with a nail tech has been linked to relaxation and even visualization. Well, you never know, your next best idea could come while you're discussing your favorite hobby while getting a fresh coat of polish. And here's a fun hack for you. Have you ever sealed an envelope and then realized, I forgot to include something inside? Well, we've all been there, right? FamilyHandyman.com says, don't worry. No need to try and gently tear it open. All you have to do is put it into the freezer. The adhesive on the envelope is sensitive to hot and cold. If it's exposed to extreme temperatures, the glue will expand and contract. By putting your sealed envelope in the freezer, you're encouraging the seal to contract and open up. Now, it's not a 100% fix, but it's definitely worth a try. And if all else fails, well, you'll just need to rip it open and find another envelope. For more information on all of these stories, head to our website, llsshow.com. You'll find previous episodes, information on all of our guests we feature here, where you can watch the show, and how to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the good stuff. Remember, if you live it, love it, or buy it, we talk about it on Life Love Shopping. With the holiday season quickly approaching, we've got some gift ideas from Mattel for the whole family. Whether you're shopping for the doll lover, the train enthusiast, or the toy fan looking for a dose of nostalgia. First up is American Girl's 2024 Girl of the Year, Lila Minetti, and her paperback journal. Lila is a 10-year-old girl from the Twin Cities in Minnesota and a skilled athlete who's learning how to take on new challenges, including moving up to competitive gymnastics teams and also taking on horseback riding lessons. The 18-inch Lila doll features amber eyes and caramel-colored hair styled in 2 half ponytails and comes with her own paperback journal. Next up, another favorite, Fisher-Price, Thomas and Friends Talking Cranky Delivery Train set, featuring 3 characters from the show, including Cranky the Crane, a motorized Thomas engine, and a troublesome truck. They can recognize and talk to one another on the track. This interactive train and track set also features fun songs and sounds to enhance your child's storytelling play. And last, we have the Mega Pokemon Center. This iconic location is now transformed into a 648-piece buildable set featuring 4 familiar faces to Pokemon fans: Pikachu, Chansey, Eevee, and Togepi. Turn the crank to see Chansey dancing, Pikachu and Eevee playing peekaboo, and Togepi opening the door. Combined with other adventure builder sets to create an expanded Pokemon world with motion. Please visit shop.mattel.com to learn more about the must-have toys this holiday season.
With Black Friday and Cyber Monday just around the corner and retailers starting to roll out those deals, tech is expected to remain one of the most popular shopping categories. And there is a tech item for everyone on your shopping list. Tech columnist Jennifer Jolly has more.
Thanks so much for having me. Check out Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 5 retro fab, future-proof, powerful, thin, durable, foldable phone. You just fold it in half. It fits basically anywhere you need it to. And that touchscreen window on the front captures photos and videos, interacts with widgets right from there. Check their website out for the very best deals. And while you're there, grab a Smart Tag 2. These little trackers add protection to all the things for just under $30. Great little stocking stuffers. Another hot deal, Ring's video doorbell and indoor cam 2nd gen bundle. Both of these devices feature motion detection, 2-way talk, so you can see, hear, and speak to people at your front door. And they have a 50% off deal going on right now, November 13th. The Ring Security Essentials bundle is just $80 for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Half price, doesn't get much better than that. For younger ones on your list, StoryPod's screen-free interactive educational audio player is another huge hit. Kids can interact with engaging characters, stories, games, music, and more, finally getting their noses away from those screens and into the things that matter most. You can also record a special message, download, add for your kids, makes for an incredibly cherished memory that lasts forever. And at just under $100, the StoryPod's biggest sales event of the year is also going on right now. For the not so merry and bright stats right now, did you know that 1 in every 3 people lost money to cyber scams last year? Quickest fix for this, McAfee's Plus Advanced plan gives you comprehensive privacy, identity, and device protection, even includes AI-powered scam protection. And this also a great deal, a whopping 65% off, just $90 from now through December 7th. Last but not least, to know you're getting the very best deal, start all of your shopping at slickdeals.com. You can also set up deal alerts, so when an item matches your criteria, you're the first to know about it. You can get all kinds of things here, deals on everything from toys to electronics at top retailers. Be sure to go to slickdeals.com for that. And for more information on everything I talked about here, plus all the latest, greatest gadgets and deals, go to my website, techish.com. Back to you.
'Tis the season for all things glitz and glam, and for showing the person you love how much you truly care. Unwrapping a jewelry box with diamonds inside is just about the most memorable gift experience you can give, especially during the holiday season. Joining us with the latest trends in holiday gift giving is Sally Morrison, Director of PR for Natural Diamonds at De Beers Group.
I think this year we're seeing a return to the classics, but worn in fresh ways. For example, here we have from Greenwich Street Jewelers some beautiful diamond solitaire necklaces. Perhaps they're worn layered or they're worn in fancy shapes. And then we're seeing, again, another classic, the diamond tennis necklace, or indeed the diamond tennis bracelet. Again, worn in mixed metals, worn more casually instead of being saved for the evening with a little black dress, maybe being worn with a t-shirt just to go out during the day. Diamond engagement rings, we're seeing classic silhouettes, and we have some beautiful ones here from Zales. But we're seeing, again, fancy shapes in the mix. So here we have a really great pear shape, which is surrounded by a diamond pave, so it has a big statement look. We also have an incredible, beautiful little heart from Bridge Jewelers. So again, simple shapes, simple forms, simple settings, but with a beautiful diamond cut in them. For more information, go to adiamondisforever.com.
A new survey from AARP is shedding light on retirement savings and how prepared people are feeling about their financial future. AARP Senior Director of Communications Strategy, Mary Liz Burns, is here with more.
A new campaign from AARP and the Ad Council aims to help people take charge of their financial future and feel more confident about retirement. AARP's Senior Director of Communications Strategy, Mary Liz Burns, has more information.
More than 1 in 5 adults have no retirement savings, and nearly 2 in 3 adults are worried that they will not have enough money to last in their later years. To encourage people to start planning today, AARP and the Ad Council launched This is Pretirement.
Pretirement is that time in your life when you are not yet ready to retire but are thinking about what you need to do to get there. This is Pretirement can help you get started and stay on track with small steps.
Whether your goals are to pay off debt, build an emergency fund, or to understand your retirement savings options, now is the time to start. That way you can save more for tomorrow and stress less today.
Visit thisispretirement.org to find free tools and resources to help you feel better prepared for retirement.
Up next, registered dietitian nutritionist Maya Sin provides tips to enhance overall wellness for you and your family this fall.
I have tips on how to be a little healthier this season. My first tip is to incorporate beverages with benefits. Here we have the Blue Diamond Almond Breeze almond milk, which is a great dairy-free beverage alternative. We also have the Wonder Beet, formerly known as Beetology, which is a cold-pressed juice to incorporate those fruits and veggies into your routine. 2 foods to incorporate are a lean protein like salmon and salads. And I love to make my own dressing from scratch using the all-natural Mighty Sesame Squeeze and Serve organic tahini. Now, salmon is a great topper for your salad, and Moe is the world's largest producer of farm-raised Atlantic salmon. Next, help fill in nutrient gaps with a gummy multivitamin like Smarty Pans. And finally, snack smarter this season with a blood sugar-friendly snack like Good Measure. For more tips, you can head to my website, nutritionbymia.com.
Thank you, Mia. We'll have all that information on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Matt Doolittle.
Hello.
Well, this is your must-watch movie of the week. In 1963, an 18-year-old is kidnapped and assaulted. Her life is then destroyed by the U.S. legal system, which leads to a new law known as Miranda. This is the must-watch movie of the week, Miranda's Victim.
Mr. Miranda, a girl was grabbed on 7th Street on Saturday night, right around the same time that you got out of work. Can you describe the man?
Number 1 looks like him.
Tell me everything, and don't leave anything out.
I'm testifying. Are you sure about this?
All rise.
I don't want to see you become damaged goods. It's not just for me.
The prosecution calls Patricia Ann Shumway.
What about the next girl?
Promise I'm gonna put this guy in jail for a long time.
The jury has found you guilty as charged.
Hello, Ernest. John Flynn.
Can you get me out of here?
I believe I can.
Aren't you gonna ask me if I'm guilty?
I'm far more interested why you signed that confession.
I know what you're trying to do. A man's as guilty as sin.
The issue is whether this defendant's confession should have been allowed in evidence.
It was coercion, plain and simple.
There was not an attorney present. Don't make him the face of your crusade. What about Miranda's victim?
I really don't care.
Objection, Your Honor.
Your Honor, you must stop this! You must stop this now!
The cases before us raise questions.
What if they say he's not guilty?
The Supreme Court might make us retry him.
The whole world wants nothing but to take from us.
Miranda did not request counsel, therefore, we reverse.
And being locked away is the only thing that lets me sleep at night.
It's just so hard to have to keep reliving this over and over. She's worked so hard. She's doing what's right.
Mr. Miranda, our justice system has afforded you every privilege, every protection.
Hey!
This is a courtesy not extended to your victim.
Wow.
good cast.
That's loaded up with a lot of Oscars on there.
No
looks
kidding.
wow.
Could be an award-worthy movie.
It's definitely going to get up there.
sure.
Good story on there too.
That does it for us, everybody. Be good. We'll see you next time.
Peace and love.